Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Josh, and welcome back to another video. So, you guys already know by now that I'm pretty much into Godzilla and all that, right? So, I thought just to kind of change a couple of things around, let's talk about Kong, let's talk about King Kong. It's always about Ultraman and, Godzilla, so let's just change it up a bit and let's talk about King Kong for once, right? Also, real quick, I would just like to announce that I am happy to say that we are at 505 subs or 506, I believe. So that's pretty well. I'm glad that we reached that far. I would do a 500 sub special, but I don't know. Wouldn't it be better just to wait till we hit like a bigger number or something? But you get the idea. So let's get into the today's topic of the for this video. So today we're gonna be talking about Neca, right? Neca toys and King Kong, right? So not too long ago, actually somewhere around January, I believe maybe towards the end of January, I'm not pretty sure, but it was revealed that NECA was going to be creating a new paint variant of the classic King Kong figure. And, this was obviously very unexpected news. This wasn't really something that we knew ahead of time. This just kind of happened out of nowhere. And the first people to brought this attention was the website, the Toho Kingdom. I believe this was first revealed somewhere around some maybe in Twitter. I would assume that's where it was first revealed. I'm not 100% sure. A YouTuber by the name Luminous was actually one of the first people to get like a nice copy. And well, not copy. He basically received the figure first. He already reviewed it, so I suggest checking it out whenever you get the chance. And in case you guys don't know what figure I am talking about, well, let me show you the original version first. So NECA, a while back, unveiled the NECA King Kong. Now, it's safe to assume that it is possible that this figure is supposed to be based on the original 1933 film. As you can see, this is the figure right here. I have him in a nice little pose, pounding his chest and all that. So for anyone out there that are not familiar with this character, because I always talk about Godzilla and we all know who Godzilla is by now, let's talk a little bit about Kong's backstory, right? A little bit his history. So the original movie came out in 1933, right? Obviously it's an old movie. It's a really, really old ass movie that came out in 1933. And the story, well, I won't get too much into specifics because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. Then again, it is an old movie, so it depends if you want to check it out or not. But I'll give you a small little synopsis, right? So basically, these people go on an island, Skull Island to be exact. I'm not sure if in the original it was called Skull Island, but it is an island and it's filled with lots of strange things. It has they encounter dinosaurs and all that. Though there's like a whole tribe where they all basically bow down to King Kong, and there's a scene where they're gonna sacrifice the main character. Dan, I forgot her name, so I do apologize. But then Kong basically comes out of nowhere, and but then he kind of likes the little lady that the natives captured and all that, and then uh, I'm assuming that everyone's pretty much aware about like with the ending and all that because I mean that's like one of the biggest mainstays behind King Kong. Everybody, that's where the famous quote came from, the "Twas beauty that killed the beast," whatever. That's where it came from. And obviously, if you're curious to where that phrase came from, eventually you're gonna find out that that came from the ending of the film because the final climax of the movie is King Kong climbing the Empire State Building with the poor innocent woman on top and trying to fight a whole bunch of airplanes and all that. It's an interesting film. It's like it does take a little while to kind of get to the point, but it is pretty interesting, especially for the time too. This movie came out. I mean, I said it a lot already, but this movie came out in 1933, right? So obviously, how were they able to kind of do all those nice little effects? And that is, of course, is with stop motion. And stop motion is basically where you take something, you slightly move it, you stop camera or whatever, and then you move it again. It's supposed to be kind of almost like some sort of animation thing, right? Like pretend that this thing is moving around, but my hands are not in the way, basically, right? So that's a lot of hard work, And what can I say? The movies. Some people even consider the movie more art than anything else because of just how incredible the effects were at the time. Now, I'm not here to review the movie, obviously. I just wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit for anyone who's not aware of what Kong is. Then again, if you clicked on this video not knowing who he is, I mean, it's always good to explain a little bit, even though you already know, even, if some of you people know who he is, but you get the idea, right? So, many people just kind of assume that this is what the figure is based off of. It does look a little bit to the original, and of how he appeared, but sometimes it gets a little bit hard because obviously that was done with stop motion. So sometimes he looks kind of funny, and it's like it's very hard to describe, but you'll get the idea if you ever decide to watch the film. So, obviously many people consider this an amazing figure, the original King Kong figure and all that. And he also comes with extra parts as well. Got the extra head and then two bonus arms with his hands open. You know, that's basically the original figure in a nutshell, right? Came out last year, I believe. Um I think so, right? It came out around last year or so. But either way, it don't matter because Neca basically talked about how this figure is going to come out exclusively at Walmart's and for February and March, but then after that they'll be available in pretty much wherever they sell collectibles, basically, right? So the reason why I wanted to talk about this is for two reasons. One, what is the figure based off of, right? Because a lot of people, including myself, just pretty much assumed that the figure was maybe based off of the original poster because of just how colorful it is. Because if you look at the figure, right, the new one, right, it's the exact same figure as this one, the exact same, except just painted differently to be all colorful and vibrant. And then on top of that, I mean, they did say that this is based off of a poster or artwork of some kind, but NECA didn't really say exactly what it was, right? And like I say, it all kind of goes back to the mystery of this figure because, I'm it's safe to assume that this is what the figure is supposed to be based off of. It's supposed to be based off of the old 1933 film, but NECA don't really, kind of put it out there saying it is. I mean, maybe they did confirm that that's what it was, but maybe to my knowledge, I have never really heard anything about it. And like I said, it looks almost just like the film. But because everything was done with stop motion, and then they always gotta be changing stuff all the time, like the facial expressions and all that, even the color of his fur. That's kind of the other problem too. The original movie was in black and white, so you couldn't really say for sure what color Kong was. You would assume that he's maybe completely dark, like black, but according to this figure, he's, kind of brownish. But I mean, who knows? I guess, you know. But it was still nice enough to NECA to make a figure like that anyway, to re-release a new one, both with different paint deco and all that. It looks very colorful and bright, and I'm sorry, sorry, you guys, I'm mixing up my words. I'm very sorry about that, but you get the idea, right? It's meant to be very bright and colorful figure, basically, right? But of course, the question stands: what is this figure supposed to be based off of? Now, obviously, upon the research, even when you try to compare it to some of the older posters and all that, though, it kind of catches on, but it doesn't really at the same time. You get what I'm trying to say here? It's like, I've seen a lot of people. There's actually some people now that actually do have the figure, and they did reviewed it. And I've seen some of them kind of say, "Oh, it's based off of this poster, but it looks nothing like this." And then, like there's probably more than two, but they use basically two prime examples of, the poster artwork and to see if it's based off of the figure. There's two of them, obviously. You got the poster with Kong just kind of being like this, and and it looks pretty close, but not exactly, to what the figure looks like and all. The other one has Kong fighting on top of the Empire State Building, of course, with the grabbing the poor woman. I'm calling her poor woman because I honestly forgot her name of the character, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, so it's a little bit of a mystery, of course. People try to kind of dive in and try to look to see what is this figure based off of, honestly. Because even I originally thought it was based on the 1933 poster. That's what I thought as well. And I even made that clear in not the last video I did, but the video talking about the Godzilla versus Kong Funko Pops, where it's been revealed that Mechagodzilla is going to be in the film, even though we all pretty much kind of knew that. But it is kind of nice to see another picture of that. In that video, I talked briefly about how Neca was going to re-release the poster version of the 1933 King Kong, and that was, that's pretty dope. But like, well, apparently it's not based off of the original poster. It's based off of something, but it's not based off of the original poster. So eventually, some answers were found, and it's called um, sorry about that. You don't know what it is because like I had doing college online, and you gotta be talking all the time. If I was doing this video earlier, I wouldn't be murmuring and talking whatever. But sorry about that. So basically, there were some clues basically kind of coming out saying that it's actually based off of a classic illustrated poster, quote, quote unquote, and it's like, really? And it's like, where though? So basically, what the hint is that it is based off of a piece of artwork, but where was the artwork from? So finally, we did get an answer with that, and it's through a magazine called the Famous Monsters of Filmland. And with that, I don't know too much about the history behind this magazine, but obviously, judging by the name, they talk about like creatures and all that throughout movies and all that. And this issue is old. This magazine came out in 1974 of July. And there's like at least maybe two different pictures showing off Kong. They actually do have some magazines dedicated to the big giant monkey. Well, technically he's an ape because he don't got a tail, but it's whatever, I guess. Big monkey. So basically, I have my phone here right now, so I'm gonna show you what pictures everyone was talking. Actually, I take it back. There's like a whole bunch. Yeah, basically, yeah, there's definitely been a whole ton of like different magazines kind of showcasing what artwork the figures being depicted on. There's a couple of prime examples, of course. Now this one, yes, no, not exactly. There is this one, of course. I do apologize if all you see is blue, but just the quality I could, kind of deal with. So there's like some yellows and some greens going on, and yes, the figure does have a little bit of yellow and green on him. But people say that that's not it. Some people actually say that this is what the figure is supposed to be based off of, and basically it's a huge mixture. There's a lot of yellow. Oh, Lulu. So there is a lot of yellow basically going on, and if you look at the figure does have a lot of like yellowish kind of paint going on, especially on the side of the face. Let me see if I can find a quick little picture to show you guys. So anyway, the figure, there's a lot of like different paint jobs going on. Like his bottom half is like kind of like a blackish color, and then he got like some pink spots kind of going on, and then on this side is like kind of green. That's how I could basically kind of describe the figure. I'm trying to let me see if I can find it. I'm sorry. Usually I'm prepared, but admittedly I've been not slacking, but been kind of like slouching a little bit. So I do apologize. You know. Like I say, if you try to look for this figure, even just like a simple picture, it's very hard to find it because the first thing you get is just the basic version. That's kind of odd when your figure only has like, I don't know. I'm trying to look for the name, but you can't. Sorry about that. This is the box art of the figure. Apparently, I know this is not the best quality, but that's basically what That's the box of the figure at least, and it's just like how I explained it, right? A lot of yellow here, some very bright green here, and some pink here, you know. And judging by the logo too, it's definitely supposed to be reminiscent of like the original film, but that's not what it's based on. So finally, people came to the conclusion that it's actually based off of this cover. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this one definitely takes the cake here because it looks almost identical to how the figure actually, like with the paint job and all that. You know what I mean? This is how it's supposed to be. And it's just like how I describe it almost. It has the yellow on the side, some of the green here. He does have a little bit of some pink kind of going on too. He has some pink on his chest, but obviously we don't really see the chest. That's kind of where the funny part comes in too. They got the figure right on the face, but then on the body, I mean, this is just a magazine cover. So do we really know for sure if they show more of him in the inside with that paint deco? Is that a word? Paint deco? Oh, of course it is. My apologies. So like so obviously you could pretty much tell that Neca was pretty much on their own when they were making the figure. They were like, okay, we know what the face looked like, but what we're gonna do for the body. And obviously, this is not the first time that Neca has done paint jobs, and like repainting their figures and making it based off of posters. Godzilla has one, based off of the 1956 American poster. When the first Godzilla film came out in America, obviously, they do that. There's definitely a lot more too. Not some that I could count on top of my head, but basically, a lot of people come to the conclusion that that's what the figure is supposed to be based on. Do we know that for sure 100%? Not exactly. There's still kind of a mystery as to what is the point of the figure. I mean, it looks nice, don't get me wrong. I do plan on getting it. I'm not exactly sure when. I don't know if I want to get it right away or not, or maybe you could just wait it out a little bit. It's hard for me to say personally, but that's only because I'm saving all my cash for Godzilla vs. Kong. I mean, new pictures kind of arose showing the whole, mega figures, the 13-inch Godzilla figures, showing Godzilla and Kong, with the action features and all that. And Lulu, you okay? Oh, my poor dog. She wants that attention. But, that happens, right? So yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe that's what the figure is based off of. I'm 100% sure that it is, but let's not jump to conclusion here, and then let's just see exactly, how this all goes down when we actually have the figure in hand, right? So, well, remember though, it's the exact same thing as this, same mold, same everything, just painted differently. You know what I mean? So don't expect much when you get it. You know. I can't. This is really nice though. So you can only imagine how that figure must look when you first get it in hand. You know what I mean? So hopefully I will be picking it up. I don't know when though. So we'll see how that goes down. Right. So I'm gonna end it right here. I do apologize for kind of slouching a little bit with my speech and all that. I've been really tired, and you gotta wake up early in the morning for college, and then the first thing you gotta do is look straight at a computer. Even when I wake up like an hour, usually I wake up like maybe like 1 hour or two just to kind of get ready. You know what I mean? So it does get a little bit difficult. So I do apologize for that. But I am gonna give you guys, some new videos. Hopefully we'll have something for tomorrow. Uh, I can't promise that obviously because college work. You know what I mean? That's my number one priority first, and then this second. Well, not second, but you get the idea. So yeah, I'm gonna pretty much end it right here. So thank you guys for watching. Leave a like. My connection went weird. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. So be careful. All right.